All right, we got two problems here for you. We have these two right triangles, problems 1 and problem 11. And what we want to do is we want to find x's missing value. Now, with right triangles, we have this wonderful thing. We have this expression that helps us remember it. We have this SOHCAHTOA. That's what a lot of teachers say, but here's how we're going to use the mnemonic device to help us remember this. Now again, this is not my invention, this is others. Some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. Don't promote drugs, terrible thing. But some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. That helps you remember this little mnemonic device, and you'll use it to solve all right triangles. Even I always had trouble remembering SOHCAHTOA. I'd spell it wrong, mess it up, couldn't remember it. But this idea of some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid, boom, I got it down pat now. So here's how we're going to work this. We look at this, and here's the angle. The angle given in this one is 35 degrees. Now you have your right angle. Across from the right angle is always the hypotenuse. So in this problem, you and I know 14 is our hypotenuse value. We're trying to find this value across from it. The value across from where the angle that's given, this is called the opposite side. This side that it's sitting on is called the adjacent side. So you always have your hypotenuse. Can't change where that is. But wherever the angle's given, across from it will be opposite. Right beside it will be adjacent. You and I are trying to find the opposite. We have the hypotenuse. So we're looking for which one to use dealing with O and H. That's this right here. The some old hippie piece. S stands for the sine. You've seen that on your calculator. So we know it's saying the sine is opposite over hypotenuse is what we use. So the sine of the angle given, 35 degrees, I always put it over 1, equals the opposite value, which we don't know, that's x, divided by the hypotenuse value, which we're given 14. Now all we have to do is do the means extremes, cross multiply here. When we do, we got x times 1 is x, that comes out nice and pretty, equals 14 times the sine of 35. Now when you have your calculator, you need to make sure the calculator's in degree mode. Hit the mode button on your TI calculator, move down and move over to degree mode. It's the second thing down there, I believe. So you'll put it in degree mode, and then you simply do 14 times the sine of 35. I always like this first. If you do sine of 35, you better make sure you close your parentheses, then multiply by 14, or else you'll be finding the sine of 35 times 14. You don't want that. We want 14 times sine of 35. This answer comes out to be approximately 8.03. I wrote the answer down earlier. So you and I know that if we have a triangle like this opposite length, that's about 8.03 centimeters or inches or whatever this was measured in. Now let's look at problem 11. We're going to use the same thing. Well, let's look. Here's the angle that's given. This over here, the 14th, that's the opposite side. This that it's sitting on is the adjacent side. And across from the right angle, we have the hypotenuse. Now this time, we're going to use opposite and hypotenuse. The same thing, a sine. But this time, we're given the opposite and not the hypotenuse. Over here, we're given the hypotenuse, but not the opposite. So let's figure it out. We're going to do the same thing. Sine is who we're going to use. Opposite divided by hypotenuse. So it's the sine of 38 degrees over 1 equals the opposite, because it says O divided by H. Opposite, 14 over the hypotenuse, which is the unknown x. Now we're going to cross multiply. And I got x times the sine of 38. X times sine of 38 equals 14 times 1, which is 14. This is what we're trying to solve for. We're trying to solve for x. How do I get rid of x? This is just a number, so we just divide by whatever the heck the sine of 38 is. So I'm just going to divide by whatever it says the sine of 38 is. Those are going to go away. Since I divided by sine of 38 here, got to divide by the sine of 38 here. And when I do it, I'm going to get approximately 22.74. That's what I wrote down earlier. Use the calculator. Again, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. 14 divided by sine of 38, 22.74. That means the hypotenuse is 22.74 centimeters or inches or whatever. And that makes sense because remember, in a right triangle, hypotenuse is always the longest side. This side was 14, that got to be 22.74. Now if you wanted, you could go ahead and find the adjacent by doing Pythagorean theorem, or you could come back and you could actually use, in this case, the adjacent hypotenuse. Since we now know the hypotenuse, you could be using the cosine. Not going to worry about that though. Here you go. You got to remember, some old hippie called another hippie tripping on acid. Have a good day.